Talk of the Commonwealth rolls on, and it is time now to check in with our friend Nancy Cahalen over at the Better Business Bureau and find out what scams it is that we need to be looking at. Nancy Cahalen is the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau, serving central and western Massachusetts and northeastern Connecticut. And talking a little bit about still the coronavirus. The vaccinations are ramping up, and that has people, and if the weather's going to start turning nice, thinking about traveling again, summer vacation, spring break. Maybe you're thinking about going to Cancun, but the pandemic isn't over yet. There's some risks associated with traveling, and let's talk to Nancy about that and what we need to know when we're planning our trip. Good morning.
Good morning, Hank. I don't know about you, but I'd like to get away. But I don't think I'll go to Cancun. No. So, yeah. So, I really am thinking about getting away, and I'm eager to get my vaccination so that becomes more possible. But there's a lot of things we have to think about if you're planning a getaway. When you consider the coronavirus, what's happening out there. So the good news is a lot of the major airlines have waived cancellation and change fees, but you have to check. You have to be very careful when you buy those tickets to make sure what it is you've agreed to. And so if there are no charges for change and cancellation fees, a lot of people are planning ahead now because they're worried there might be a shortage of tickets available when they want to go. So that's something to think about as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And there's just, I wonder how much of a hassle there still is, how much everybody has to kind of just do their research. And then obviously we've got to take these precautions as well. Are there some other things besides, putting in the time on research that we should be doing or things that we should be doing when we're packing or things like that, Nancy?
Oh, there's a lot. And you talk about a hassle now. It may seem like a hassle now, but it'll be time well spent if something interrupts your trip, or if you come across a real surprise along the way. Another thing to check on is the mask and middle seat policy for the airline. If you are flying somewhere, you don't want to get on the plane and see all the seats filled and have been under the assumption that the middle seats would be left open.
Right.
So those are all things you can check online. A lot of people have been avoiding air travel and have been traveling with RVs and visiting different state parks and things like that. And that's a wonderful thing to be able to do, but not everybody has the ability to, jump in an RV and take off cross country. But if you can, now's a good time. Now's a good time to do it. So another thing is you should always research what the rules are, from where you're leaving. You're leaving here in Massachusetts, and you know what the rules are, but where are you going? And you probably have to have some kind of test results, and it's really important to check with the CDC about what the rules are before you go. So what are the rules here? What are the rules at your destination? You don't want to get somewhere and then find out you have to quarantine for 14 days and then get on the plane and come home.
Oh my gosh.
So that's not, that won't be much fun.
Yeah. Could you even imagine? Jeez. And you've always got to have your backpack and stuff with you nowadays that has your mask in it and your hand sanitizer, and make sure you don't forget all that stuff. Oh, yeah. I suppose more people are probably opting then maybe to do some different kinds of vacations, as you're saying. Not everybody's going to fly or jet off somewhere. People hopping in the car or doing whatever else it is that they're doing.
Yes, yeah. I think we've all had enough of the staycation. So it's like if we could just go somewhere, it would be a pleasant change of pace. So another thing to think about is travel insurance. We've had a lot of complaints here, especially at the beginning when the pandemic kind of caught us all by surprise. A lot of people's trips were canceled or delayed, and some of them had travel insurance, and they had assumed that it was going to cover 100% of everything. Well, don't make assumptions. You really need to read the fine print to make sure what is covered and what isn't, and are you willing to accept that risk? So, do your homework now, and you'll avoid a lot of surprises if something happens down the road.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is for sure. Is there anything that we should know about, or ways in which we can kind of protect ourselves a little bit when we're making our accommodations, whether we're going to the hotel or the Airbnb or things like that?
Yeah, that's the unknown, and you're a little, I'd be a little uneasy. What is greeting me on the other end. So speak to them at the hotel or at the Airbnb host before you book your stay. Find out what precautions and sanitary measures they're taking in between guests. So that is, so important. You're going to have a family in there for a week, and then you're going to arrive afterwards. What's happened in between? Inquire about shared facilities, such, do they have gyms, pools, spas? A lot of hotels and resorts have these things. Are they open? So you don't want to get there, find out that they've had to shut down these facilities, and it's a big surprise to you because you were counting on them. And make sure you're comfortable with the precautions that they're telling you about. If you're not comfortable, move on. Find another place.
Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. And the great outdoors always beckons. All those great campgrounds are out there. Good way to social distance.
I know. And, I said it's a great opportunity. RV sales and rentals are through the roof. And so people are taking advantage of this as an opportunity to enjoy the great outdoors.
Yeah, and you're right about that, about those RV rentals. Yeah, no, I mean that's going to be a big part of it. I can tell this summer, just the people heading out and hiking and camping in the RVs, and just they're hitting the open road. That's right, they're on the road.
That's right.
where should we go to get some more information on some of these guidelines and some of these tips that you've been giving us?
Yeah, well, you can always ask us, and we'll direct you. But the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, they have a lot of information. There's a U.S. State Department website called Know Before You Go, and that can give you a lot of information, too. If you can't find the information you want, reach out to BBB, and we'll be happy to point you in the right direction so that you plan your trip wisely and you don't have any nasty surprises along the way.
Exactly. Nancy Cahalen, President and CEO, Better Business Bureau, serving Central and Western Massachusetts, Northeastern Connecticut, joins us every week. Nancy, thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Hank. Thanks so much for having me on.